you're always afraid that the judges are going to trip you up. They're going to find something that you don't know.
What if it doesn't work?
Getting a question that I wouldn't have been able to answer correctly.
Speaking in public.
I'm not an engineer. I don't have a doctorate or anything in that field.
I didn't know any of the jargon.
I was very nervous.
I was really fearful at the beginning of my experiment because I didn't know any of the jargon. I didn't know anything about phages, but I spent some nights on it. I talked to my teacher about it. I went after school a few days and we had discussions. And I did learn all that jargon and all the information. I read papers on it, and now I'm not really fearful anymore because I know a whole ton about this.
Well, this project was a continuation from what I did last year, and I think last year I kind of had that fear of what if it doesn't work, because I'm completely venturing off into something I'm not an engineer, I don't have a doctorate or anything in that field, and so I was kind of concerned that what if it doesn't work, and then you're kind of comforted by the fact, well, that's the worst thing that could happen. After I got over that fear, I kind of worked on could I improve my project itself.
I don't know if you say afraid, but I was very nervous about going to a real research lab and working with, real scientists who did this every day. It was pretty intimidating at first, but it ended up being like, they're just regular people, and it ended up being a really great experience.
When I was a freshman, I was kind of shy, and I wasn't very good at speaking in public or anything, and so that's what discouraged me from doing my first science fair. But then my sophomore year, I kind of got over it, and I took my first steps into the science fair world. And then from there, I kind of got over my fear of speaking. And what makes me the most nervous is waiting for the judges to come and seeing which judge is going to come to me. Yeah.
At first, when you start judging, you're really intimidated because you're always afraid that the judges are going to trip you up. They're going to find something that you don't know. But as you get used to it, you become more comfortable in front of the judges. You realize they're just people and they're very interested in the studies. That's why they're here. They really want to get to know your project and they like to hear about the work that you've done.
My biggest fear is probably getting a question that I wouldn't have been able to answer correctly. And what I learned about that was just that it's okay to say I don't know when a judge asks you a question, because they're PhDs and I'm not. I'm only 17, so they don't expect you to know everything, and it's okay to say I don't know.
Well, you're always scared that someday you may not be able to accomplish something, but even just coming here, every time that I'm able to conclude a study, I'm able to see that I can have an impact. And even if my study is small, I know that it does have some sort of repercussion for the future.
If you ask a student at the science fair, are they fearful or uneasy about whether their project will work out and so on, they say, no, this is fun. If it's a problem to struggle with, that's fun. Contrast that with the attitude toward exams and classroom work. Many of them are terribly anxious, but here they know nature is kind. She will give them the answer they're after if they keep working at it. Very unlike the artificial environment created in our schools.